Tears were falling from my eyes. It was the best day of my life. My girlfriend of 5 years was on her knee, with a diamond in her hand. But that's not why I was happy. See, I had been expecting for a long time that something was brewing. Windu 108's Devlog 1. For clarification on this chapter, I will not delve into any information that is not publicly available to the public or is not visible by civilians. Windu 108 was a computer programmer who got his start with the Minecraft minigame server Pickcraft. Pickcraft was created with the help of a team, consisting of 6 in total, although their names have been lost forevermore in the endless black hole of time, who fulfills her duty of erasing all forever until the rocks of historians turn to sand. Pickcraft has many games, including Pig Racing, Gravity, Team Quake Deathmatch, Parkour, and many more. The server was developed over the course of 3 years, until development tragically paused. Windu 108 had decided to transition his efforts away from the Minecraft scene and into the indie game development scene. With the new projects came a new name of Dolphin Studios, the name referencing the diabolical sea creature and the distant lights we see when we take a part of the dwindling time we possess to look into the night sky. Deciding to start small, Windu decided to recreate one of his games from his Minecraft server, Gravity. Logically speaking, Gravity is clearly a game about 2 characters. As you can see, these characters are green, seen in the title screen, and blue, seen during gameplay. These characters are clearly meant to be twins based on their resemblance to one another. For simplicity, we call green Ackerly and blue Aftonio. Based on the fact that we play as an adult, we can assume that Aftonio falling through an endless tunnel is not how they started their life. Clearly, this state is dreamlike, based on the dreamy fog that can be seen around the character, and the ability to look at yourself in third person, which cannot be done in real life. This must be the dreams of the character we see first, Ackerly. Why would Ackerly be dreaming of their twin falling in an endless tunnel of death, unless Ackerly feels as if they hurt their twin? It is my belief that Ackerly, in a drunken rage, accidentally killed their twin, and these dreams of Aftonio falling are a result of Ackerly's guilty conscience. Alcoholism is clearly a represented theme based on the 4th skin you can buy. The faces could even be stated to tell this story if you reorder them into their chronologically accurate order. Ackerly is first happy, as seen in the 1st skin. Later, Ackerly gets wildly drunk, as represented by the 4th drunk skin. In this moment, they feel jealousy for Aftonio, who is very cool, as seen by the 5th cool skin. Then their drunkenness leads them to anger, as seen by the 2nd angry skin. And they do something unthinkable. They kill their twin Aftonio. Once the high leaves their body, they become sick, realizing what they have done, as seen by the 3rd sick skin. This is when Ackerly starts to be tormented by the dreams of their twin. The king skin actually represents the point in the game when you die. When this happens, it shows Ackerly is not only accepting of their actions, but sees them as moral. This is why your only goal in the game is to survive forever. That is the untold story of Gravity by Dolphin Studios. Gravity was now complete and published, and Windu needed a project to work on, so a new project was born. It was decided that the project would be based on
the simple concept of a parkour course,
but
adding a horror twist to it.
And so development started. If we go frame by frame, we can reconstruct the code in order to get a more clear picture of the piece of art being created. However, I immediately noticed an interesting problem. On line 176 at 124 in the file playermovement.cs, the code shown uses 1 extra float square root instruction. That is extremely expensive. With the following C++ code, we can see exactly how expensive that is. Doing 1 billion additions takes 1.092 seconds. Doing 1 billion divisions takes slightly longer at 1.123 seconds. But doing 1 billion square roots takes 7.656 seconds. Now this may seem like an irrational experiment. 1 billion square roots is not comparable to 1. But what I'm trying to prove is that square roots are expensive and should not be taken lightly. My lawyer informs me that I should specify that square roots are still relatively cheap, and the problem is being exaggerated here for comedic effect. I hate lawyers. Magnitude of a vector is defined by the Pythagorean theorem as the square root of the summation of each component squared. On a game running at 60 frames per second, the game only gets 16 milliseconds to process and render a frame, and those square roots add up. In this line of code, it would make much more sense to use magnitude squared, and then square move speed, a much cheaper instruction. Another note I have of this code is that it wastes 4 floating point variables. In this code, flat velocity is defined as a vector 3, although only 2 of those values will ever be something other than 0. Again, by definition, a component of 0 being added will not affect the magnitude, and thus flat velocity could be reduced to a vector 2. That's 1 to the tally, but 5 lines later a new vector 3 is defined, named limited velocity. However, flat velocity is never used again in its scope. The whole line could be simplified to flat velocity equals flat velocity normalized multiplied by move speed, which would save an additional 3 floating points. This brings the tally up to the aforementioned 4. Rapid Shark Games always appreciates newcomers to the video game industry, as they make it look like we're not a mob-funded monopoly, which we are. And so, we all at Rapid Shark Holdings LLC, the tax-exempt non-profit we donate all of our money to, wish you the best of luck, and a Merry New Year. Happy Christmas.